And the picks, first three have already come out. Shen and Evelyn taken away. That Shen, they obviously don't want Godbro playing that. We saw in the spring split exactly how devastating he can be with that. Nunu taken away. They don't want no jungle. Nunu's been a bit of a terror so far here in the first week. And Lissandra as well, another champion which Soaz has shown he's very good with.
And honestly, I can tell you that I certainly know with the conversations with a few pro players, I'm not going to drop any names, but they were like, what does Lissandra do again? maybe they're just saying, yeah, we don't want to deal with that. We don't want to deal with that. So they have banned it away. Jace is going to continue its 100% banned and picked throughout the summer LCS so far. Expected Twisted Fate probably will be the final ban.
Yeah, I'd imagine so as well. XPK, of course, very, very strong Twisted Fate player, but we've seen him picking up the likes of Malphite so far to good effect. Obviously against SK Gaming was a strong one there with the Malphite. And it looks like NIP going to run this right down to the last second and will be that Twisted Fate. So, what does that leave open for us then? Zed and Kha'Zix, we've seen both of them being played here. It's not going to be Teemo, I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure it's not. We'd love to have Teemo eventually appear in the LCS. Be a big cheer, I think, but I don't think it's going to happen. Cyanide in discussions, a lot of discussions with Fnatic, and of course they are not having the best of starts. They started off so well, they went 2-0, and then it kind of all fell apart from them in day 2, so they're going to be really looking to pick up a win here and go 3-2 just like Gambit have.
Well, the fact is they've lost to Evil Geniuses and they've lost to Meet Your Makers.
Yeah.
MYM obviously have beat everyone they've played so far. They are 4-0. We'll see. I mean, that loss to EG as well, I think will have been a little bit demoralizing for them, but at the end of the day, Fnatic versus EG, that is a game that if both teams are on form, it can still go either way. So, first champion locked in for Fnatic was that Jarvan, a big favourite of Cyanide.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's managed to get those smite steals. Of course, we did see smite steals yesterday from Evil Geniuses. Almost got themselves back into that game, but wasn't quite to be those epics. We've had some fantastic matches throughout the last few days. We're hoping we're going to top it off with the final 3, of course, coming up after this one. It will be the top of the table clash, Meet Your Makers versus Alternate. One of those teams...
Didn't think we'd be saying that.
No, absolutely. But one of those teams is going to repeat the performance that Cloud9 have done in the North American LCS, and they are going to go 5-0. That's incredible. The picks are coming in, though, from Ninjas in Pajamas. Looking like it's going to be Caitlyn and Thresh starting off. So that duo lane already being set up.
Yeah, and of course, Devicio has played a lot of Thresh as well. Very solid Thresh player. And, well, with it being left open, I would have expected either of the teams to have gone for that one. It's Nip that get it first, though. They wanted to have that Jarvan for themselves, but also make sure that Svenskeren doesn't get a Jarvan. We know how good he is with that. For Fnatic, though, it looks like they want to be taking the Ezreal. So, although that Caitlyn already locked in, showing that Fnatic are going to want to leave those important picks here till last and keep the surprise going.
And I just want to say, I love finals day at events. It's great to come to esports events where the finals for all the games that are going on are happening, because you just hear cheers all across the arenas. There's been a number of finals that have come to the fruition today, and a lot of teams happy to go home with new prize money going in. And as it is, the LCS is certainly getting close to its end. Of course, we will be in Moscow next week as well, so we are road tripping in Europe, or Euro trip. It's not quite Europe though. Russia doesn't really quite count. It's technically it's a continent of its own. It's massive.
That's true. Luckily, we're going to Moscow, which is close enough to us that it's not a long way. We're not quite visiting Edward's hometown over in Omsk, which is
he's not there,
a long way away. Well, yeah, I say his hometown, of course. Obviously now in North American LCS playing for Curse. It was the Ezreal locked in as we thought, and that Malphite once again reappearing here for Fnatic.
So will that be Peke running it in the top lane, which he did the other day? And Soaz, of course, went for Lissandra, but now it has been banned out. Jace is not available, but honestly, and also you could say, effectively, all 3 of those bans, well, 2 of them certainly targeted towards Soaz, 1 towards Peke. They are one of those teams, Fnatic, that are hard to ban against, because they have a wide variety of champions, which is why, of course, they went on to top the spring LCS season as well as the playoffs.
Yeah, they've had a brilliant spring, there's no doubt in that one. Obviously, this start on paper not so good at 2 for 2, but I think in reality, the losses that they've had to EG into the possible 5-0 team of Meet Your Makers, depending on how today's results go, I don't think it's that bad of a start for them either. NASA's going to be locked in here for Svenskeren, and Lissandra as well, Sejuani as well. That kind of threw me off.
Yeah, exactly. I was just like, wait, what? This is going to be either a top lane or a mid lane. We have seen a number of mid lane Nasus appearing in China recently, so maybe they're going to go that route, or I think it's probably going to be Godbro farming up a Storm in that top lane, which tells me that they're going to be looking to maybe go for a little bit of a later game. We'll see how that works out. Potentially, maybe thinking of going up against that Malphite and just trying to nullify him a little bit.
Yeah, certainly. Plenty of health and CC coming out of them, but look at this. We are seeing a possible Kha'Zix and a Leona. Leona is going to get locked in, as is Kha'Zix, and that is, for me, a terrifying lineup from Fnatic.
That to me also tells me I think it's going to be Soaz on the Malphite in the top lane, and of course Peke in that mid lane on the Kha'Zix. They could of course switch the lanes around, but that is terrifying. I mean, Leona N-rated is a scary, scary thing. Often used to be banned towards him, but he's been shying away from it lately, going towards that Janna, hasn't gone towards Pick. It doesn't really fit the formation because frankly they want to go all in, and you can see they're going to have the Unstoppable Force going in there. Leona's going to be diving in with her ultimate, which I can't remember the damn name of. Kha'Zix is going to be jumping on top of them. There's going to be a Cataclysm coming out, so there's a lot of layering coming out from Fnatic here. What are NAP going to do to try and nullify that? Looks like a Kennen kind of would work, would get their own AE down, but honestly for me, Fnatic have got a really good lineup right now.
Solar Flare is the word you were looking for. That one. We are going to be seeing Kennen here by the looks of things as well. So really interesting setup coming out of Ninjas in Pyjamas. As we said, looking for their first victory here. And it's not even just about that first victory. It's about not repeating what happened in the spring season, I think, from just the whole mental game that comes with that, with the, the thought of being in that same position here in the summer split as they were in the spring split is probably terrifying for them. And I think with the caliber of teams that we have in the summer season, it's actually more dangerous here if that were to happen than last split.
Yeah, and not only that, what's scaring these teams right now, certainly SK and NIP, that are both sitting at 0-4, is the fact that they're not going to get a chance to practice before they get to Moscow. There's literally a day and a half between them. They're going to be heading back to Cologne or whichever gaming house they're sitting in, and they're going to be jumping straight on a plane and going to Moscow. So they're not really going to get a chance to practice. So what we're seeing right now in Super Week is generally what we're expecting to see in Moscow. Of course, teams could pull something together over those few days. But honestly, to me, this is a scary, scary moment. But we also need to remember the Ninjas in Pyjamas, when they were back at Copenhagen Wolves, their second ever win in the LCS was against Fnatic, and they did go 2-2 over the season, so they are actually even with Fnatic. So Fnatic themselves would want to settle that score.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's a new day as well, which, they're 0-4, yeah, that's a definite, but it's a new day. It all depends what they've done overnight. That's better.
That's a little bit better. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are underway. It's going to be Fnatic, a.k.a. FN, as the blue team, and Ninjas in Pyjamas, NIP, NIP, whatever you would like to call them. They do have a ninja, and he is in pyjamas. It's Bjergsen.
A little Kennen. See what he can do in this game. As we just see them having a bit of a peek at each other in middle, saying hello. Will we see any crazy level 1 action? We have seen it fairly regularly so far in week 1, and always a fan of level 1 fights.
That's a bold statement. You've had a few.
To be fair, I've seen a few, yeah.
Nothing in terms of level 1 play. We did have Fnatic and SK actually going at it, and there's still nobody died. But it does look like we're going to have some little invades coming out. Fnatic going aggressive, but they are going to pass straight by the ward. We do have the test just up in the tri-bush above, but they already know. The whole of NIP will have seen that, and they're maybe going to try and position for this one. They do spot Peke. He's sticking around that mid lane, and this may just be a ward, or whether it's going to go straight for a steal. We see N-rated placing that ward down, and they are just going to back away. Full vision as well, so Ninjas in Pyjamas not too worried about that.
Yeah, and I think Fnatic will have realised that that ward will have gone down there. Something around that Wraith bush is normally there on the red side of the map. So they back off. They've got a couple of good wards in there. One by the golems on the top lane and one in that bush by Red Buff. And that will allow them to see that NIP are going to be sending that support and AD carry into the top lane. But look at this. This could be very, very interesting now as Yellowstar and N-rated are looking like they will go in for this one. Or will they? Are they just watching? Yes, they will, and doesn't actually get it. Mistimed it.
Mistimed it. Tried to go for the steal. They knew it was coming to Code, and they did have that ward coverage. So it's going to be Soraz helping out Cyanide on that red buff. And And he's going to be taking that Smiteness as well. We do see the blue buff being picked up, started out by Svenskeren, and it means it's going to be the two top laners effectively in the bottom lane. And that will be Godbro against Soaz. And actually, they did switch around again, just to keep us on our toes. Soaz is on Kha'Zix, and Peke is on Malphite. So we'll see how Kha'Zix does in that top lane against the Nasus.
Or in the bottom lane, as it is this time around. In the middle lane there, we see Bjergsen and Peke. Bjergsen going with that Doran's Blade start here, and he's going to be trying to keep that shield down from Peke and keep the harassment up as much as possible. Bottom lane, actually, Soaz just going in there a little bit onto Godbro, and they're basically just going to be bashing faces for quite a while here.
Yeah, and he's actually still only level 2. The delay that he actually had, now he does hit level 2. He is going to get that Q Claw probably leveled up. Yes, he has just gone straight for that one, so expect to see him trying to do a bit more damage to Godbro, trying to single him out from those minions and try and just keep him away. Stop Godbro basically building up that Q, which I expect he's going to try and do generally is the solo laner. Of course, trying to get us maxed out on those siege minions.
Well, a fairly quiet start to things. We've seen more explosive starts, but you can really see why both of these teams won that. Fnatic not happy themselves with that 2-2 start here. They want to be going 3-2. For NiP, it's a very different story, though. Still looking for that first victory here in the summer season, so not wanting to go 0-5, that's for sure. Svenskeren already gone home here from the start, got himself that early Spirit Stone, and will be coming back in. But we've not really seen too much here. The jungler's going on a very steady path, but we will finally now see Jarvan headed down towards this bottom lane. But can he take a Nasus under the turret? With that Wither, going to be dangerous.
Yeah, looks like he's going to back away. He's pushed it heavily up so not too sure if there's any gank opportunities. They are going to both go back and buy. We do see Bjergsen, he just come back with a second Doran's Blade here up against Ken, and we'll see whether he's going to be building up an AD Ken and see whether he's going to rush it. Normally, well, I thought he was going to rush towards a tier. I'm not too sure where he wanted to go towards. I also want to talk about the top lane as well, because as I say that, Svenskeren does come in, does try and get a little poke on Peke, but what I want to talk about is the fact that Yellowstar, the pressure that I think he must be under, because we've just seen Rekkles winning the finals at DreamHack. This is a guy that's still contracted with Fnatic. What happens when he turns 17?
Well, that's the real question that everyone's waiting to find the answer to, and I can see Harry, the manager, down on the front row giving me a look there. He's not giving any comment about that one. But yeah, we'll have to see about that. But for now, Yellowstar, very much a big part of this Fnatic team, and has been for a while. Definitely a family man.
Cyanide snuck himself into the Tribrush. There is a ward in it, but it's his own. I don't think he got spotted by the river, and you can see the Tess and Deficio very heavily pushed here. Now he's going to make his way around, has been spotted out by that minion wave. Not quite timed it right there, and just straight back away.
Yeah, in the mid lane though, Bjergsen and Peke are going to be going head to head. Peke going right in there to get that ground slam down, getting the shards off, but they both end at about half HP, and Bjergsen just going to be trying to bait him in there, I think, with a recall right in the middle of the lane. Let's have a look at some of that early CS here. Soaz and Godbro, shouldn't be too much going on there. We see him just jump away to avoid that damage mid lane. There's actually a little bit going on there as well, as Peke has to flash away. Did get stunned under the turret. Ignite is going to tick him down. I thought he had enough health there, but it was that final tick of the Ignite that gets Bjergsen the first blood.
Absolutely fantastic stuff there at Ignites. He just wasn't quite sure. He was like, my passive cut in, come on. You come back, and he just didn't quite have the time. He didn't have any more on that potion either, so he couldn't chug that down. He'd already used everything he had. As well, Ninjas in Pajamas, they are winning the farm as well, because if you look at this AD carries against each other, Yellowstar's fallen 15 CS behind the Test now. They are really shoving this lane, pushing it up, and he's struggling out early on to get that farm away from the turret.
Yeah, and I think that's an important factor as well. If they can make Yellowstar as uncomfortable as possible, then he's going to struggle underneath his turret. You can see there another wave of minions coming in, and Rayton actually getting hooked in there by Deficio, and that's the real danger. You know, Yellowstar, he's got that escape mechanism. He can get himself away, but the fact is, the Test, with that headshot proccing onto him, with the Piltover Peacemakers coming in, and the danger of that threshold, he needs to be really careful.
Absolutely. Soaz down the bottom, he's starting to build up a CS advantage as well. Godbro has just gone back. You can see once he's done is to get those void spikes built up, he's going to clear those waves so much faster than Godbro can. He's trying to stack up everything he can, make sure he doesn't lose anything to the tower. He will lose that one, not quite catching all of the CS, and this is where he's going to start, the advantage is going to grow. They need to start dealing with Soaz at some point. We need to start seeing maybe Svenskeren coming down, helping out, and trying to get some ganks on him, but he's going to be so slippery. He's got that flash ignite as well as his ultimate, so he can stealth up as well and try and get that speed advantage to try and run away from the ganks.
Well, right now, Svenskeren had a bit of a look there, but decided, no, not going to bother coming into this mid lane. Peke had started to back away as Spidey senses just coming in there. We can see the ward coverage actually from NIP is actually really strong. All the important positions have wards down, and they don't want to be getting caught out by Cyanactive. You know, that Jarvan's a bit of a tricky customer with the fact that he can move over the terrain so easily and avoid those typical ward positions. As down the bottom, Soaz taking another big chunk from Godbro.
Yeah, once he manages to land that Q, you can see it's already doing near 200 damage already. He does try and use his ultimate to try and run away, but the Wither is going to be enough surely to slow him down. One more Q puts the Spiritfy down, not quite enough to take down Soaz, but already danger signs there for him because he's only got that Tear of the Goddess, so not any armor there, so maybe you're going to have to think about getting a bit of a cloth 5 in there. Instead, he doesn't. He goes for the Crypto straight away. Oh, Peke missing the ultimate in the top lane.
Yeah, teleport comes in there and, well, didn't really utilize it to its best of its possibilities, and Godbro actually started the teleport up into this top lane as well there. Did decide to actually cancel that one off and not come up there, because I don't think they really would have been able to pick up that kill anyway. He'd obviously already used his ultimate, already used that ghost during the last fight as well, but very interesting play that could have gone a lot differently if Peke would have really landed that unstoppable force.
Well, that has meant that, of course, Peke left away in that lane. Godbro once again getting aggressed on this time. Soaz might have a better favour. I mean, Godbro no mana at all, so Soaz quite happy to just ball him out, just pull that Wither down on him, just to annoy him a little bit as he tries to pick up his farm. But in terms of CS between them, it's definitely even out a little bit, but the middle lane right now, Bjergsen has started to gain a bit of an advantage there because Peke had left that lane, because he did manage to get that kill. He's had that free farm, managed to push that CS advantage. Now he's gone back and got them Sorcerer's Boots. He's going to start becoming a problem for Peke.
Yeah, and look at the Yellow Star there, picking up 3 long swords here at the start. Going to be turning them into his various items a little bit later on. Right now, he's brought that CS back as well, so that's a brilliant little turnaround here from Yellow Star in this top lane. We're talking about how he had a lot of pressure on him here, constantly underneath the turret being pushed back, but as he's leveled up, he's started to become a lot stronger on that front. CS lead for Soaz still remains. This middle lane, Bjergsen is 20 CS in the lead, and also picked up that first blood, let's not forget. He's got those Sorcerer shoes already in with the Amp Tome.
Yeah, Svenskaren's also looking around that mid lane. Bjergsen trying to bait him down there. They are going to go look and steal away those wraiths as well. Maybe the red buff, haven't they got the times down? It's going to be Cyanide coming straight around. That may be a problem. It forces him to flash straight away there. And actually didn't spot, did he smite out that big wraith? No, he didn't have smite available. Didn't see who managed to pick up the gold though. But Peke may now be in trouble. What's he doing so far up lane when he knows that Bjergsen's going to go for his ultimate, but Peke just walks away from it, no problem.
Yeah, he actually used his flash there to get away from that, and he's like, well, better to use that and not have it than risk dying in this confrontation. Was caught a little bit out of position, which surprised me because he knew that they were actually around that side. Bottom lane, Soaz, as we said earlier, he's starting to do a lot more damage on towards Godbro now that he's got those 2 long swords in there. There's a Q of Godbro, but I don't think he can really stand there bang here, and Soaz is actually going in.
He's going aggressive. I'm not too sure if he's going to be able to do it though. Godbro turns around, pops that ultimate down, just needs to win one more Q. There it is. One more hit will do it. He's got to be careful though, because Soaz also can land one perfect combo. Maybe try and get away from this one. He's going to have his jump back up, tries to turn around, Spiritfy's there. He just needs to get the claw on him. Is he baiting him long enough? No. Bjergsen was making his way down the river, but both back away very close. Meanwhile, the top lane, you can see Enrated is getting dived on.
Enrated in all kinds of trouble right now. There is the ace in the hole coming through. Yellow Sights, he tried to block it there with the arcane shift, but wasn't quite quick enough in there. And that's another interesting one, because there was a ward in the Tribush, and Svenskeren still managed to get through. Meanwhile, down in the bottom, Soaz in trouble again.
And trouble again. I'm not too sure whether he can turn this one around. Gets the voice box, tries to heal up. Of course, he has got that Tear of the Goddess, and the mana is continuing to tick. He's chugging down that crystalline flask, becoming a bit of an alcoholic down the bottom lane. He's trying to drink it down as much as possible. Godbro, meanwhile, he's starting to run out of mana now. He's going to try and land that Q once again. You can see it's already charged up on Soaz. Wants to get in there. Soaz just trying to bait it out. Those void spikes, so he needs to get close to the minions, get that regen going. He's going to be happy here. I think he's going to start winning out this battle.
Right now we've actually got Kennen coming down to this bottom lane, and I think that Fnatic are trying to bait this one out. Godbro is going to come into the rush, sees that Cyanide is actually there, but Bjergsen is going to come around the side from this one. Can they get in? Bjergsen underneath the turret gets knocked up here. Going to take a couple of big hits from that. Fnatic deciding not to follow on, Soaz was too low.
Yeah, Peke's teleport wasn't quite available either. It was going to be up in just a couple of seconds, so they were trying to see if they were going to hold out a little bit longer. They weren't quite expecting Bjergsen to just go rushing straight in for that one, but again, nothing really coming of it. Still just 2-0 for Ninjas in Pajamas. They have built themselves up a 1,000 gold lead, and that really is coming from Bjergsen in that mid lane.
Now we can see the Spirit of the Elder Lizard is done here for Ezreal as well, so working his way up nicely towards that blue Ezreal build, which we're seeing more and more often. Manimoon was done for Soaz as well. We'll see how much of that of an impact that actually makes on towards Godbro's Nasus, who's also got himself that Glacial Shroud. In the mid lane, Giant Spell for Malphite. Haunting Guys already done here for Kennen, and it looks like NIP might try and make a play on towards Dragon.
Dude, the ward actually just ran out, I believe, from Fnatic. They had a ward there, and it just went the second that NIP were about to come around the corner, so they won't have vision in this one, which is why you see Cyanide coming down, puts the Demacia standing down. Now he's going to see it. Will he go in for this one? Hasn't got flash available, so it would be suicide if he went for it and chooses wisely not to go in. But Soaz is caught out by Bjergsen.
Soaz in a lot of trouble here, uses his ultimate, but Bjergsen is able to finish him off there, and that will be 3-0 Fnatic and a 2-0 Kennen, and that's a real danger now, because Kennen is going to be causing them all kinds of problems. Fnatic's composition is all about going in there, and once Kennen gets up towards, the likes of Zhonya's Hourglass, how do you fight then from Fnatic's side of things?
Well, with all that magic pen, he's doing a lot of damage, and I think Soaz was just completely caught off guard there. Wasn't expecting the burst that came out from him. Didn't realise he'd just gone back completely that Haunting Guise. He had the Sorcerer's Boots early on. N-rated though, he's coming around the backside and towards Tess. Tess went straight towards the tower. Leona was ready and waiting to go, but immediately, as soon as Deficio showed himself, they backed away from him. On Yellowstone, not really in a position to fight right now.
No, not right now. We have Spirit of the Ancient Golem actually picked up now for Sejuani, so it's going to be a lot tankier getting in towards these lanes, and we'll see where Svenskeren decides to go. Definitely one of the more improved players in from the spring split was Svenskeren. Topical now, of course, no victory under the NIP name in the summer split, but that may well change here. Right now, they are almost 3,000 gold in the lead. See if that continues to be the case. You see the ultimate coming out of Yellowstar, just trying to get a load of health away from these minions and catch the opposite number.
You briefly touched on it earlier on, the fact that Yellowstar has gained back that 15 CS behind that he was, and he's managed to get himself back on top. We'll see what happens when he backs off here. Peke taking a little bit low in the mid lane, not really winning this exchange against Bjergsen at all, because simply put, it's magic penetration up against an armored tank. So Peke not too happy about this setup right now. We'll see how it develops towards him. Cyanide just helping out the blue, but Peke will be picking that one up. But Soaz, he can't win this exchange right now against Godbro.
No, he's having some real problems in with him there as well. That extra armor coming out of the Glacial Shroud, plus that cooldown reduction, which allows him to spam that Q off now ever more often. So we are going to see the slow come down. Bjergsen is there as well.
Soaz is in all sorts of trouble. He's going to try and stealth away from this one, but Bjergsen catches him with the stun and just drops him once again. Such a quick kill, and now Ninjas in Pajamas are 4-0 up against Fnatic.
Brilliant, brilliant play from NIP there. And Soaz again falls 0-2-0 right now. Not his best game to date up at this point. He's going to be going for that Brutalizer next. We see Yellowstar has taken down the top turret. NIP trying to instantly reply here, and they will as they take down the bottom outer turret. I thought Bjergsen was going to get a hold of Cyanide there, but he just slides away to the flank.
Cyanide gets away from it. Peke didn't go in towards Svenskeren there. Svenskeren's ultimate is down though, so he must have used it. There's the solar flare on the top lane.
Tess, is he going to be able to get away? Yes, he is. There's the Lantern. One of the big beauties of that Thresh gets him back to safety. Yellowstar actually chasing him down here though, and that blue Ezreal is going to be all kinds of dangerous as the Tess flashes away from the unstoppable force, but Enrated goes in again.
Well, Peke did try and get in there. Flashed already. Enrated's in all sorts of trouble. He's going to go down. Godbro teleport, working wonders. And again, he comes in and helps up, mops up. Godbro, I tell you what, this Nasus pick seems to be working wonders against Soaz's Kha'Zix, and now he's starting to affect the other lanes.
What a turnaround as well there. It looks like Fnatic were going to be picking up the kills. We saw the Tess flash away from an unstoppable force, which, you know, on any day of the week is difficult to manage. And he's got himself away from danger, plus they managed to pick up that kill as well. It leaves Bjergsen 3-0. We've got the Tess at 2-for-0. The assist going nicely across the rest of the team as Bjergsen going to get jumped on.
They're jumping in, but look at the damage he's putting down on towards Soaz. Is it going to be enough? Cataclysm comes in. He may well be in trouble. How's he going to try and get away from this one? He's going to have Lightning Surge up. He's not going to get away. He's going straight towards a ward. And Fnatic pick up their first kill of the game 17 minutes into it.
Yeah, and Cyanide getting himself a good 400 gold there as well. But finishing off that killing spree that we saw Kennen on. But now Deficio and Svenskeren coming to clear this mid lane. They're not going to let Fnatic push that one down here so easily, and probably can't either without that Ezreal, especially since Deficio can hook them in. His Godbro comes around as well.
He was spotted straight away, passing across that ward. Soaz also trying to throw out the Void Spikes towards him. Peke kind of wants a piece of this one. I think he's fed up with being pushed and bullied in this mid lane and wants to start causing fights. Fnatic can see starting to group up in this mid lane. Soaz has gone back down. He wants to keep that farm going, and they want to try and keep Godbro as busy as possible so he can't keep on building up that queue.
I expect him not have the best of times, as you said, you know, two unstoppable forces which have missed, both in that top lane for him as well, so probably feeling a little bit shaky from that. We'll get up towards that Sunfire Cape soon, and maybe that'll just give him a little bit more to work with, but that needlessly large rod now there for Bjergsen, and we saw the damage that this Kennen could do. Soaz went in onto him heavy, and Bjergsen almost took him down for his pleasure there.
Soaz has got himself that Brutalize now, just went back to buy that one, so he should be doing a bit more damage in the next fight. Meanwhile, Godbro continues to get that free farm, of course, with the Sheen on top. That Siphoning Strike is going to be doing chunks of damage. Let's have a check it out. You can see Panky showing us exactly what it is. I think that was close to 500 or 600 there. I didn't quite catch it out. He's built, I think he's got plus 240 on top.
Yeah,
on top of what it already does. Yeah, wow. So he's getting close to 500 per Q right now. So if he gets in on top of someone, that's going to be a good third of someone's health already, and especially if it's the likes of Yellowstar. He's only got just about 1,200 hit points, so if he lands it on him, that's going to be a big chunk of damage. The Dragon being set up here, 19 minutes in. Remember, Ninjas in Pajamas did pick up the first one. Looking like they may well take the second one.
And those wards not going to last very long. The pink ward in the front of the Dragon Pit. Fnatic trying to get in there for this one. They don't want to let it go, and this could be the first massive team fight of the game. Both teams a little bit wary there. You see NIP, although they're 5-1 up, although they've got a 2,000 gold lead, they're still very, very cautious about this fight.
And spot how much they're trying to separate. They don't want to get caught by that wombo combo of the Solar Flare, the Unstoppable Force, and Cyanide Cataclysm on top of them. It would be disastrous if they walk into this bush. They do put a trap straight down, and they spot it out. Yellowstar's buying this time very well here, putting damage down on towards that middle turret. The rest of NIP, Godbro's been separated here. He went and put the Wither down on Soaz. Now he might be in trouble. He's going to get knocked up. The Dark Passage has been thrown out. Instead, he's going to turn it around, throw down his ultimate. Has he wasted it, though? You can see Fnatic disengaged. They're happy to let it be wasted. Godbro wants to try and use it to take down the Dragon, but the rest of the team not on the same wavelength. They're forcing him away here.
Yeah, and it may see Xpeke go into this one. Unstoppable Force ready to be used at any second. Godbro will back away, and as he said, a bit preemptive his whole ultimate there, but he could have used it for that Dragon. Just not in position there, Ninjas in Pajamas, to really capitalize on that. Turret is down to less than half in the mid lane though, so NIP need to be a little bit wary of that when it comes towards those Dragon fights. Meanwhile, Xpeke and Godbro there bashing heads at the bottom. Yeah,
rubbing up against each other. Not a great deal of damage going to be done. Interestingly, everybody kind of stepped away from this one. They didn't want to let those waves be shoved against each other. There was 3 pink wards from Fnatic used up. One of them has just worn out, but they do still have good ward coverage of that Dragon. And NIP are like, fine, okay, if you want to fight for that one, we're going to stick around this mid lane. We're going to try and shove your turret down.
Yeah, and soon Godbro is actually going to become a lot more scary. Once that Iceborne Gauntlet is actually finished up here, he's got about 3.5 seconds cooldown on his Q, which means you're just not going to escape from him with the Iceborne Gauntlet, so with the Wither in there as well. Dragon started, but again, NIP are forced away.
They're trying to single out Peke. You can see Bjergsen, he was trying to get on him in that tribe, which they had a ward on him, and now Peke, he's going to rejoin the rest of Fnatic. So they thought they could maybe catch him in some sort of pincer move there. I think Svenskeren was looking at eyeing up, getting his ultimate down and stunning up the rest of Fnatic. Again, though, they have started the Dragon. It's down to half health. They're going to try and finish it off here. They're going to see Cyanide sliding in. Doesn't manage to get it.
Yeah, they get the hook on Wanderated as well. Cyanide gonna ulti and the box goes down, but here's a Kennen ultimate. Cyanide actually getting to the fight, but the rest of his team might not be so lucky here. There's the first couple coming down. Look at Yellowstar though, in the back here. He's causing all kinds of problems for them. Svenskeren tries to get away. There's another killer, double coming out, and in the end, it ends with a 4 for 2 for Fnatic.
4 for 2. They didn't get Dragon, so in all honesty, it turns out fairly even between them. But if Fnatic can pick up this turret, it will be a big advantage for them. You're going to expect Yellowstar and Soaz will finish this one out. You can see Soaz cleaving out chunks of that tower. Now he's going to jump across, clean out those raids. Yellowstar pushing on. So all advantages going to Fnatic from that fight. And it was honestly NIP, I wasn't too sure about it. They didn't have coverage. They didn't have any wards in there, whereas Fnatic could see the whole fight developing with their pings.
Yeah, Fnatic actually doing really well from that one. We see the red buff here is being currently done by Yellowstar, and he's going to take that just before Godbro can get in and queue it off to finish. And what a move from them. 4 for 2. Yes, they've lost the Dragon, but they've taken down that the outer middle turret, taken away the red buff as well. That means the test is not going to have that to use in the coming moments. And we can see that last fight has allowed a few big item purchases to come in as well. Black Cleaver done for Kha'Zix, Sunfire Cape for Malphite, and Bloodthirster on Yellowstar's Ezreal.
Yeah, just to see how he's going to build this one, because we did just see Reckless. He didn't go for the standard blue Ez. He was quite happy to go Infinity Edge in there, along with the Bloodthirster, you know, booking the normal trend, I guess you could say, of Ezreals that have happened late. And that's something he actually did at IPL 5 as well. He was just like, no, I'm going to build it the way I know how. And it worked out well for him, and he got some incredible scores. And of course, that did mean that Copenhagen Wolves, that he was playing for, substituting onto, did go and win the DreamHack tournament here. But as it is, it's Fnatic versus Ninjas in Pajamas. Both teams very, very close here. Peke once again going up against Godbro. The Wither comes out, and Peke just forced to walk away. Godbro now completed that Iceborne Gauntlet.
Yeah, and that makes him all the more dangerous. As I said before, he's a little bit behind in CS, around about 10, but I think that's to be expected at this stage of things. Between the AD carries, we said in the early game that Yellowstar was having some real troubles getting off the CS, and I was actually falling about 15 to 20 CS behind at one point. He's now 20 CS in the lead and is currently 2-0-1, so he's going to be a massive factor in this one for Fnatic, and NIP need to make sure that he's out of the fights. We saw in that last one what happens if he's left alive.
And also we should look towards NIP. They are building clever towards this one. It's not a great deal of magic threat coming from Fnatic, if much at all, that really going to affect them. So they're just going to start stacking that armor on. That may become a problem for Fnatic if they let this game go on too long, because Godbro, he's going to become unstoppable soon. You know, you can see he's already got that Sunfire Cape on the way. The Iceborne Gauntlet's on there. The Ninja Tab, you can see Ninja Tab also picked up by Svenskeren. So everybody on NIP building cleverly into this one. Fnatic, though, of course, they're trying to get as much penetration as they can. Cyanide, he went for them boots of swiftness very early on. Maybe looking to get those ganks in early, but didn't really work for them. They were down 5-1 in kills at one point. Is trying to get that, has got the Aegis Legion Liner, trying to build it up to the Runic Bulwark. That will kind of help against Bjergsen if they can prevent him. But that Zhonya's Hourglass he had, we already saw it in that last fight. Goes in, throws his ultimate down, Zhonya's Hourglass. So even if the Unstoppable Force comes in, everything gets laid on top. He's just going to press that horrible gold button and stand there laughing.
Yeah, that's a real danger. Godbro's in all kinds of trouble. He walks straight into both Yellowstar and Peke. He's going to go in onto Yellowstar. There you see the damage that he can put down, though. And in the end, he is finished off. Yellowstar going low, but he's got a Bloodthirst. He'll heal that up with the next couple of waves.
He's just managed to heal all that back up. Meanwhile, this is happening. You can see the mid lane NIP trying to shove in there. Do manage to get the slow amp tilt over on towards Enrated. They will be able to take this turret down. They have lost the minion wave, though. That was cleared out fairly quickly by Cyanide and Enrated. While that was all happening, the bottom lane, they did take the turret, but the top lane, Soaz is getting absolutely absolutely decimated by Bjergsen once again. That's the third time Bjergsen's just come up and killed Soaz with ease.
Not even close there, and Soaz tried to juke him, going back with the ultimate into the back bush, trying to get out that way, but, well, saw Bjergsen actually use his flash just to make sure that kill didn't escape him, and he is now 6-2-0 with this cannon. Bjergsen again, I mean, he's so consistently for Ninjas in Pajamas, and back when they were called Copenhagen Wolves in the spring split as well, he has been the man that has really lifted the whole level of the entire team.
Yeah, he's got a 2,000 gold lead over Peke as well right now, which is maybe going to develop into a problem. However, Cyanide's got 1,000 over Sven Skeren right now as well. The AD carriers were fairly close, 2-0-2 and 2-1-0. And they've pretty much got the similar top of farm. When there's 10 CS difference, when you're talking 240 to 253, it's not a great deal. So 6-8 currently, NIP. And remember, every team that has taken NIPs down so far have managed to shut down Bjergsen. He's 6-2-0 right now. He's not getting shut down. The Rabadon's death cap is close to completion. It's just 840 gold away. And as soon as Bjergsen gets that ultimate layered on everything else is going to be devastating.
Right now, N-Rated just coming up here. He's going to put a ward down on top of the pink ward, which is timing out, but Deficio with that Oracle will make sure that goes anyway, and he will be taken down. So, that vision taken, and with the outer turret down now in the mid lane, that's what Fnatic were trying to do. Try and get some good vision down in the jungle, trying to get a bit of a stranglehold on NIP. I mean, if you look at the gold here, it's pretty ridiculous how close it is. 37.6 to 37.6, which is kind of ticking 100 gold here and there between the two teams. So doesn't really get closer at this point. NIP though, they have that cannon at 6-2-0, and no kills to Sejuani, none with Nastassia. I'm wondering if this might come back to hurt them, that everything's on Bjergsen. He has to survive in those fights.
NIP being clever here, they've spotted out the fact that the Yellow Star, he was up around the red, they pinged he was there, they knew he was miles from that fight, quickly go in and take the dragon from under Fnatic's face.
Right now, Fnatic trying to reply to this one. They're actually going in on towards that inner turret, and we'll see if NIP decide to go for the fight here. So Yellow Star just getting the slow off, and they will be stopped. That turret surviving just about, and now NIP are actually giving chase down mid lane. Not sure that they really want to get in there though and fight.
That was a heavy amount of damage that Soaz and Yellow Star quickly put down on there. The moment that Bjergsen shows himself at the top, I think they're going to feel they can get back in and bully for this one, because it only is going to take 1 or 2 shots from Yellow Star, and that turret will go down. Peke is not really with them, but he will be in inner turret going down, and that's actually 4-1 in turrets now for Fnatic. So despite the fact they have been a little bit bullied around the map, being bullied in the team fights, so you can see Bjergsen's been picking them off, they have still been working the objectives, and that really is all the game's about.
Yeah, certainly is. Right now, NIP headed down towards this bottom lane. Soaz is there, as you can see, and see if they're able to catch him out. He's going to become more and more of a slippery character as we see him just jump away. Says, no, I don't fancy any of that. I'm just going to get away. Don't want to get involved with Godbro coming in at me. He's very dangerous. The stickiness of Nasus at this point is hard to escape.
Yeah, that wither's absolutely horrible. 4 members of NIP though in this mid lane. They may well try and do what Fnatic just did and simply bully them out. This minion wave whiz back here, but Peke and Yellow Star quickly reacting, getting back in there. Not too many hits required on that turret, but now that all 5 members of Fnatic, and a little bit Irish there, I don't know where that came from. That's all it was. The built over Peacemaker from the test trying to take away those rates, actually from Sven Skeren. Sven Skeren's like, nope, it's going to be mine. I need the gold. I need everything I can. Randian's Omen now completed by Godbro as well. So really a lot of tankiness from him. But look at Soaz. He's got the Black Cleaver. He's got the Last Whisper. And like you mentioned, that Muramana has been stacked out. He is going to be doing some serious damage in the next team fight.
Yeah, and they really need that Randuin's Omen in there as well, just to make sure that the attack speed goes down, that they get the slows off and everything to go in there as well. So really interested to see when this next big fight happens, because to me, neither team at this stage look like they're willing to get involved in a big 5-on-5 encounter. Well, that may have changed now that Soaz has got up to that stronger level. Fnatic pushing the inner bottom turret.
They were trading there. You could see that Bjergsen, he was trying to shove down the mid. He's like, I found an opportunity, guys. I can get on this mid turret. But little did he realize that that all 5 members of Fnatic had shoved along. They've got that inner turret down. They're not going to be able to take this inhibitor, I don't think. Although saying that, Godbro is still pushing the top lane. So actually, it's going to be 2 turrets for 1. It's an inner for 2 outers. Not a bad trade overall. They're going to actually try and keep Fnatic busy here because they want Godbro to keep on pushing. The unstoppable force comes out.
This is going to be dangerous. 2 kills straight away. Double kill for Soaz. They look like they're finished with that one. The teleport not going to come down in the end, and wisely cancelled as well from Godbro. But that was insane how quickly they got rid of Caitlyn and Thresh.
They managed to take him down, and actually they may well lose this inhibitor turret. I don't think Bjergsen's going to have quite enough to try and stop them from this one. There it is. You can see that's the inner turret though in the top lane. There's going to be Bjergsen going in. He gets onto one side, takes him down, and Rated tries to lock up Bjergsen, but he is going to be able to back away from this one. But Soaz comes in, gets one thing. The Sonya's Hourglass gates him. Is it going to be enough? The turret is on Soaz. He may take him down. No, he gets the turret down. That's technically a delayed quantum kill for Soaz there. They're going to keep pushing to take down the inhibitor.
And there you just see Soaz's, skills. He's had real problems, died early on, as we are going to see Godbro still chasing down here. That Q hits for monstrous damage. Did get the wither off, but can he chase down anymore? He's certainly going to try with this one. Right now, as that goes finished off, can he get in on towards N-Rated? He's going to be withered down. He's going to get the slow off there with the Ronduins, and he's trying his best to get across there. N-Rated actually going to go over towards Deficio. It's the Tess that gets the kill, maybe even better in the end for NIP.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, slid straight back in, but that is one inhibitor down that Fnatic managed to work very well for. But we can't also underestimate how much Godbro managed to chunk down in that top turret. They've gone from 4-1 to 6-4 turrets just in a matter of 2 minutes. So both these teams are still very much in the game. The gold advantage is still with Ninjas in Pajamas, remember, as well. And they are starting to maneuver towards this Baron. That is going to be where the next big fight happens.
Yeah, Deficio is going to be clearing out straight away. Fnatic just off to the bottom side there by their own blue buff, and NIP pretty risky in my book, have started off this Baron. We saw that last fight that Fnatic seems stronger once they get the right engagement, and NIP are going to risk here. Baron down very, very low. Can they actually finish this one off? Yes, they can. Baron taken here. Can they get the kills though?
No, Deficio is going to get taken down by straight away. Soaz could get in and get a clean up here. We've been seeing Bjergsen pops the ultimate down. Soaz gets ripped apart, and that's going to be the Test picking up another kill. Peke gets sniped down. One more hit from Godbro. Will be able to do it. He can't get close enough though. Wither will be back up just before he gets out of range. I don't think he's quite got enough to catch on towards him, but with that Baron buff, honestly, Ninjas in Pajamas just need to forget this chase, turn around and go in there. He's going to try and teleport away. Godbro was past. No, just managed to catch him. Almost duked him out there.
That was a definitely interesting turn of events as Bjergsen going to get up with N-Rated, who slides back into him. Now Yellow Star coming around the side, chased down by the Tess, flashes over, the Tess goes in with him. It's an ace for NIP.
Wow, back and forth action in the last 5 minutes. Ninjas in Pajamas suddenly going aggressive with this Baron. They're going to take down one turret. They have 7 seconds on the death timers of Soaz and Cyanide. I'm not quite sure they have it in them. They're going to go for the inhibitor turret. I don't think they're going to get the inhibitor because Soaz and Cyanide, they could come in and clean up here.
Well, let's see. Soaz is going to be running out their home guard boots in action. There is Cyanide, and they are going to dive on towards Bjergsen. He goes down. It's Cyanide that picks up the kill. Soaz having to go away. Teleport from Godbro, and that gives them the inhibitor.
That forcefully takes it from them. Soaz, look how close he went, though. He went in on a half hit from Bjergsen, and Bjergsen still nearly turned it around him. He's got a lot of damage. You can see, obviously, with that Sonya's Hourglass, the Haunting guys, and now the Void Staff in there, he is doing incredible amounts of damage. He is chunking them down, and this game is not over by a long shot. The gold advantage swung heavily there to Ninjas in Pajamas. It's put them 6,000 gold up over Fnatic.
Yeah, incredible stuff here. NIP did manage to clear out the super minions that were coming up that bottom wave. That was just before Godbro actually came in there for a while. Look at the gold here as well, and it's actually pretty insane, some of the differences here. 3,500 extra for that Kennen over Malphite. You can expect that with an 8-4-1 Bjergsen right now. If you compare Soaz and Nigodbro right now, 12.9 to 11.9. So there is a lead, but it is close, and Fnatic right now have just taken another dragon.
Right now, so far, Peke has not really been in this game.
No.
He's landed down Unstoppable Force a few times, and it's allowed his team to get in there, but it's not the normal Peke that we're used to. We're used to seeing him getting in there, going aggressive, and that's actually down to Soaz right now. And you can see he's actually getting popped. They know that he really is the big danger, and they're sure for all the lanes. Still a very, very tight fight, 2 for 2.
Crazy, crazy stuff this game. And I think we expected this as well. I mean, 2-2, as we said, in the spring split between Fnatic and what then were the Copenhagen Wolves, now Ninjas in Pajamas. This was bound to be a close one. GA is now finished for Soaz, and that, you know, helps them out with the problem that you were talking about earlier, that Soaz is the instant target for them. Get rid of that high amount of damage, the burst that they can put through those void spikes and what have you. But now it becomes a little bit harder because he's going to be there twice.
Yeah, there's a lot of super minions stacking up both lanes. Godbro, you can see he's going to clear it out. The air inhibitor has respawned right now, NIP, so small advantage gained for them in terms of being able to push them down. You did also see in that last fight, it was Bjergsen. He went in and quickly zeroed out Cyanide. Meanwhile, the rest of the team, everybody turned straight back to Soaz. And as he said, you know, now he's got that Guardian Angel. It will help them a little bit in the next fight, but it's still, his positioning is so crucial for Fnatic right now. If he just steps out of line, if he gets caught out early by that Wither, could be the death of him.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot about positioning, that's for sure, these next encounters. And right now, I saw the bottom lane just pushed out a little bit by Godbro. He's up over 300 CS. In fact, he's got the most farm in the game. Almost, actually. I didn't see the 321 for his teammate, the test there on Caitlyn. So, you know, getting some big, big numbers in the farm. That last Whisper added in as well is going to mean that those queues are just, well, redonkulous, I think is the right word there. 555 is the bonus that he had on that one right now, plus the 200 from his AD and the base 110. That is a lot of damage.
A lot of damage indeed. And if he lands on Yellow Star, which I believe he did in the last fight, I think he got close enough to hit him once, which is why Yellow Star went so low. It will cause him problems. You can see he's only got just close to 2,000 hit points, so just one of those will take half that hit points down straight away. And Ninjas in Pajamas, they're shoving up. They realize that this inhibitor has just respawned. It is pre-open season for them, though. They have that super minions, that small gateway of an advantage. They're going to try and bully their way into taking this turret down, inhibitor down, sorry.
Yep, that one coming back up shortly. Godbro is not only dangerous when it comes to champions, they can push turrets very, very quickly, and because of that Q of Nasus, which obviously works against the turrets, is a big chunk of damage going to go away, almost a quarter of its health. The interesting thing is that Peke has now got that Thorn Mail in there as well, so he is completely stacked up with armor right now, sat on 334 armor, which is all well and good, but once Bjergsen gets in there, it's a different kind of damage. Baron has spawned, and look at this from NIP.
It's a trap, I believe is the word, and Cyanide is going straight for it. He wanted to put the Demacia standard down. It is going to take him down though, and you see N-rated, he's getting locked up, Bjergsen's getting taken out very low. Zhonya's Hourglass was used, but that is another kill. It's N-rated that goes down. They are not done yet though. It's still going to be a 2 for 0. I don't think they can fight for this one. Peke, he's trying to look for that opportunity. They do see the death sentence just being flung out there, but a great trap set by NIP. Bjergsen has got to go back though, because he's low on the hit points.
And that's a real danger. I mean, Cyanide just wanted to get that ward down in there, just to see if anything was going on. NIP obviously all in there. We see that Peke actually taking a lot of damage here from the test, returning thanks to that Thorn Mail though. And Yellow Star and him are the only two that can really stop this going off. So he's waiting off to the side, but as he said, he's on top of ward. They know he's there.
Yeah, they were pinging on him, and the Bjergsen was coming straight above. Actually, but he went the wrong route. He kind of showed himself, showed his hand a little bit too early. The turrets in the bottom lane being shoved by the minions, and look at Fnatic, they backed away. They're going to have to surrender on this one and realize that NIP had taken that Baron without any fight.
Yeah, and right now there's a good chunk of gold for pretty much everyone to spend for Ninjas in Pajamas. They're going to be headed themselves back home. We'll see what extra they add in. So as they've just stolen the NIP blue, what we can see, Chain Best coming in pretty much across the board for NIP with that one, and an Oracle for both Nasus and Thresh.
Someone is single-handedly taking down this Dragon. He's going to keep that goal just within a 5,000 bracket. 7-6 currently is the kill score, turret score, sorry. Kill score's a little bit higher, 14-20, and we'll see the next fight. I mean, while I do say so as he's going to get focused a lot, if Bjergsen gets focused and he gets taken down, that's Zhonya's Hourglass, of course, it will be annoying for them. But it is entirely possible that they could drop him so quickly that suddenly the rest of the team may well be in trouble, but Godbro is a big tanky target. is still going to be a problem with those queues, but the reset timer is still a little bit long.
We have the GA as well built up on towards the Tesla's Caitlyn, and that could be another big factor coming in. They're going to have another go at this inhibitor. Goes down very, very quickly, and look at that Godbro almost chunking a third of it away with just that one single Q, and they're pinging down to where that minion wave is on the bottom lane, so it looks like they want to try and push that bottom lane out as well here.
NRated did try and get some wards down in this jungle, but you can see the fact that Deficio has that Oracle on just clears all the waves out. Remember, that bottom inner turret was taken down by the minion wave, and the bottom inhibitor is going to be the next focus target. Everybody's trying to shove out those waves, do what they can, go back, get some purchased items. Another BF sword coming out for Soaz there. Meanwhile, Pink's coming out for NRated. He needs to try and just give any vision they can from Fnatic. They realize they're in this siege situation. They have got great wave clear though, so NIP, if they're going to go for this one, they're going to have to dive the turret.
So the interesting thing is here that Ezreal actually selling his Spirit of the Elder Lizard from this one. He's just picked up the Infinity Edge as well, so he knows that the kite ability that they got is just not really what's going to work out best for them actually in this team fight. It's all about, because you've got the fact of XPK, Cyanide, Soaz, and Leona as well, dying straight in there. He's just got to get auto attack after auto attack, and he just needs to put that damage out as quickly as he can, and at the highest possible amount.
Yellowstar's continuing to try and hit the champions rather than the minions there as well. You can see he's poking on towards Bjergsen. They just want to take him down every time. Tries to land that shot on towards Bjergsen, take him a little bit lower. Of course, they are going to have that regen of the minions, of the Baron, sorry. So you can see the siege continues. So as is, meanwhile, in that mid lane, so there's Spirit Fire going down. True Shot Barrage comes off just to keep that wave clear down there, while Soaz is having to farm out the mid lane, keep those secret minions away from the base. Cyanide chunked down a little bit by Bjergsen, slowly being poked out to Tess. Once he gets a couple of shots on towards that turret, they may well die for this one, Joe.
Yeah, it's very dangerous though right now. They know that they can't push the Tess too far forward to try and take that turret, because they will dive on him there. They'll get rid of that GA, take him out of the fight. But those traps should be enough to to allow them to back away and stop Fnatic from really pushing out here. Constant poke damage coming in from NIP. Turret is going to fall maybe this wave as they get the stun towards Cyanide. There they go.
Unstoppable Force comes in, laid straight on by Cataclysm. 4 members of on it, but Bjergsen, that ultimate running the whole time across everyone. Yellowstar goes down, Cyanide goes down. We do see Soaz jumping in, gets the reset. It's the triple kill for Bjergsen. Soaz just jumps away simply to save his life, and it is going to be the NIP pushing through, getting their first victory in the summer LCS, ladies and gentlemen. You can see they're going to take it down, and wow, Fnatic go down 2-3, but more importantly, it's NIP with their first win.
Yeah, and a big win as well, taking out Fnatic, and that's something that's going to really boost confidence in the Ninjas in Pajamas camp. You can see there the managers who, over the last 2 nights, I've actually seen them at the hotel after the game, and they're been so frustrated, not just because they lost, of course, but because the players themselves are hard on themselves, and they knew that a win would break all those problems and set them on the right path again. And well, what a team to do it against as well, Fnatic.
Absolutely. We said before in the spring LCS, they managed to pick up their second victory over Fnatic. And wow, they've done it. And you're talking about how the players are hard on themselves, but that's great, because it shows they have that competitive edge. They want to win. They don't want to be seeing themselves going 0-4 again. So now they're 1-4. Let's see how much they can turn this one around. Remember, they went 13-6 after that losing streak. Wonder if they can top it.
It was pretty ridiculous, actually, how they managed to swing, get that whole momentum swing going on for them. It's happened earlier on this time for NIP. The problem that they have is, as you mentioned earlier on, there's not a lot of time between today and when we go to Moscow. In fact, I think the 2 days that they've actually got spare, they're going to be in Stockholm, actually, here in Sweden, getting visas to go to Russia. So time is really tight there. And
tight is time.
Tight is time there. And I'm not quite so sure how much they're going to have to play. It's going to be a lot of talking, and theorizing how this is going to go down for them.
And you've also got to think of Fnatic. I mean, what are they going to do now? They started off 2-0. They've just lost the last 3 games. Suddenly it's like they were so happy, thinking we've practiced so much. How are they going to react? They now 0-3 effectively going into Moscow. What are they going to do to turn it around? Of course, we're going to find out what Trevor and Jason think about that one, because honestly, I'm not too sure what Fnatic can do, because they actually looked okay in that game, but they were simply outpicked and outplayed, effectively. I would hate to say outbaited as well, but they're not Sirens, ladies and gentlemen. They are the Fnatic. Let's get over to Trevor and Jason and see what they think.
Thank you for that one, and what an amazing game from the absolute get-go. We were talking about the picks, we were talking about the mid lane Nasus, where it was going to go, and you were actually saying that you were expecting it mid. It works quite well. What did you think of Gobro's Nasus? First of all, it wasn't mid, and you know, could they have done anything different?
I was actually, I thought it would most likely go mid lane. We've seen it in China, we've seen it done. Actually, Shushe from Dragonborns is a big fan of that. We actually talked about Gobro before I get into his actual Nasus set. He seems to like to play these tanky champions in obviously the solo lane, where he has a little bit of AP or a little bit of damage into it. You know, that Shen, the Malphite he plays. But the Nasus, we were honestly we weren't expecting it, but he played it phenomenally well. I mean, he went head-to-head against Soaz on that Kha'Zix. He kept up in farm. He didn't let Soaz get a huge lead. He didn't allow him to roam around, pick up kills, and towards the end of the game, and with his build, with his protection, with his wither, he was able to get the job done.
The thing that was fantastic to see is that from the very, very beginning of that game, Ninjas in Pajamas, they won their lanes individually. They were out CSing, they were managing to outplay, and they were keeping control of the game themselves. And that's the first time we've seen them do that all weekend long. Fnatic bounced back after 20 minutes. They got a 4-for-2 trade. They got the first inhib. That was a very chaotic back and forth game. And if you think back to their loss to Evil Geniuses, it was a very chaotic back and forth game. Fnatic are not handling the chaos. As soon as there's drama and there's action and there's things happening all over the place all the time, they're not in control.
Yeah, I really want to know if it was Fnatic not playing well or if it was NIP playing extremely well in the end of that. I mean, obviously both teams played well throughout the entire game, and after the first inhibitor goes down, like I looked at the stats a while ago, and it's like 80% of the games when the first inhibitor goes down, that team will win. And the chance of coming back is ridiculously hard, but NIP, they're able to do that. They're able to keep their composure. And I know we saw after that first inhibitor did drop for NIP, we were like, all right, well, that's the game. We should get up and start walking. But, you know, Gobro came back, he responded with those 2 kills, was able to turn it around. But, you know, the confusion, the chaos, Giants last season is a perfect example. They loved that controlled chaos and took advantage of it every single time. And Fnatic, they kind of like being in control. You know, they like the whole, let's split push, let's send Xpeke off to the side, have keep pushing the lane, because we're controlling it. We're forcing you to react. But when they're the ones being forced to react to the other team, that's where it kind of struggles a little bit.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. They like to have the little skirmishes, and when their whole team is being skirmished upon, they're not very good in the defensive roles. Before we actually jump to an interview with Bjergsen, I do have to say he flashed a Jarvan dunk as Kennen, and I don't think I've ever seen a Jarvan Cataclysm being flashed.
Oh, he also did one more in there too. He actually Zhonya's the Ezreal ultimate, which would have killed him.
An unbelievable play. Bjergsen, fantastic play with Kennen. He is on stage.